Hello and welcome back to Global Value. In today's video, we will be performing a stock analysis of Mondelez International, ticker symbol MDLZ. At the time of recording this video, Mondelez is trading for just under $65 per share. Over the past year, they're up about 6%. Going back 10 years, Mondelez has returned a 5% compounded annual return. Now, this return is just their stock price. It does not include dividend payouts or reinvesting those dividends. So Mondelez is pretty snug right between its 52-week high and its low. There's not a lot of volatility for this stock, so not as much chance for mispricing. Still, it's just a couple of dollars off its 52-week high. Mondelez is a big company. Their market cap is just over $89 billion. To get a background of the business, Mondelez International Inc., through its subsidiaries, manufactures, markets, and sells snack food and beverages globally. The firm is a leading player in the global snack arena with a presence in the biscuit, chocolate, gum and candy, beverage, and cheese and grocery aisles. Mondelez's portfolio includes well-known brands like Oreo, Chips Ahoy, Halls, Trident, and Cadbury, among others. Through a variety of sales and distribution channels, Mondelez serves about every type of retail store that sells snack foods. The firm derives around 1/3 of revenue from developing markets, nearly 40% of revenue from Europe, and the remainder from North America. Mondelez has operated as an independent organization since its split from the former Kraft Foods North America grocery business in October of 2012. Mondelez International Inc. was incorporated in 2000 and is headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. We'll be performing an 8-pillar stock analysis as popularized by Everything Money to give us a starting point of how to think about this company based on its financials. Before we get into the analysis, let's put ourselves into the right mindset of a value investor by covering the 4 principles of value investing. Principle number 1, when you're buying a stock, you're not buying and selling pieces of paper, and you're not buying and selling a number that goes up or down. You're buying fractional ownership of a business, and you should think of it as if you're buying the whole business. Principle number 2, insist on a margin of safety. All companies are worth the sum of all the cash they'll produce from now until Judgment Day, discounted by some reasonable interest rate. If you can figure that value out, then you should pay a price well below that. Principle number 3, Mr. Market. Your job is to make Mr. Market work for you and not the other way around. Mr. Market gives you quotes on businesses every few minutes. When he's providing you with quotes that are way too low, you should be buying from him. And when the quotes are way too high, then you should think about selling. And principle number 4, circle of competence. As investors, we don't deserve to make money from anything that we can't understand. To ask the question, is this business within my circle of competence, is to answer the question. Stick to your circle of competence to minimize mistakes and to build conviction for the long term. With those principles in mind, let's get right into our fundamental analysis. Pillar number 1, we want Mondelez's 5-year average PE to be below 22.5. Currently, their PE is just over 21.5. However, their average 5-year PE is just under 24, so this is going to be an X. Pillar number 2, we want their 5-year average return on capital to be above 9%. They do a decent job here, and they average in these high single digits numbers. However, this is just under our metric. Over the past 5 years, they've averaged a return on capital that has been 8.4%. So these first 2 pillars have just been slight misses. However, they're both X's. Pillar number 3, we want to see 5-year revenue growth. This one's a check. They've grown revenues from just under $26 billion in 2017 to just under $29 billion in 2021. Scrolling down on their income statement, pillar number 4, we're looking for 5-year net income growth. As we come back up, this one's also a check. In 2017, their net income was about $2.8 billion, and they've grown this to a net income of $4.3 billion as of the end of 2021. Back-to-back checks on growth here. Pillar number 5, we want them to be decreasing their shares outstanding. And this has been the case. In 2017, they had 1.5 million shares outstanding, and they've dropped this to 1.4 million as of the end of 2021. So this is a check here. This means that if you had invested in the company in 2017, they've been buying back shares and increasing your ownership percentage. Not by a ton, but if they bought back when the company's been reasonably priced, then this has been a good deal for existing shareholders. Pillar number 6, we're looking for 5-year free cash flow growth. This one's another check. In 2017, they had free cash flows of about $1.6 billion, and in 2021, they had about $3.2 billion of free cash flow. So they've just about doubled their free cash flow over the past 5 years. This is a great sign here. Averaged out over these last 5 years, Mondelez produces about $2.7 billion of free cash flow each year. That'll be important in pillars 7 and 8. Pillar number 7, we want to understand how the company utilizes leverage. So we want their net debt to be below their 5-year average free cash flow multiplied by 5. Currently, Mondelez has about $16.6 billion of net debt. Multiplying their 5-year free cash flow of $2.7 billion brings us to about $13.5 billion. So pillar number 7 is going to be an X. They're utilizing more debt in their business than we're necessarily comfortable with. Finally, the big pillar of them all, pillar number 8. We want Mondelez's market cap to be below their 5-year average free cash flow multiplied by 20. Currently, they have a market cap of just over $89 billion. Multiplying their 5-year average free cash flow of $2.7 billion times 20 brings us to $54 billion. So based on their free cash flow profile, that's about $30 billion off from what their current market cap is. So based on that cash flow metric, it looks like Mondelez is expensive. Finally, I want to take a look at Mondelez's dividend. So currently they pay a dividend yield that is above the market average. They're paying a dividend of about 2.2%. So looking at their earnings per share and their dividends per share, and then viewing their payout ratio, we can see that this dividend is pretty healthy and it's very much so supported by their earnings. The highest that they've gone in terms of payout ratio over the last 5 years has been 47%. 60% is kind of the high water mark there, so this is more than 10% below that, which is a good sign. Mondelez is pretty conservative with how they pay out dividends, and as we can see by the column in blue, they've grown their dividends by about 10% each year throughout the past 5 years. So with a dividend yield that's above the market and a very healthy payout ratio, it's likely that they will continue to increase their dividend into the future. Finally, if you're interested in learning more about Mondelez, I highly recommend reading through their filings, dive into a 10K, read their annual report, and understand the business in more depth. Ticker does a great job of conveniently linking all these filings right inside of Ticker. In summary, they check the box on 4 out of 8 pillars. They're just off on our first valuation metric of PE, coming in slightly ahead of that. However, they're quite a bit off based on their free cash flow compared to their market cap. They do a good job of maintaining just above average returns on capital. However, it's still below that 9% threshold we're comfortable with. They've also done a nice job of growing revenues, net income, and free cash flow. They've been slightly buying back shares. They've been increasing their dividend by about 10% each year. However, the business does employ more debt than we're necessarily comfortable with. So to develop a better understanding of the business, it's worth going into the terms of that debt. So that's it for our stock analysis of Mondelez International, ticker symbol MDLZ. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more stock analysis videos, and comment down below what business you want me to take a look at next. Thanks for learning about Mondelez, and have a great day.